Um, yeah, it was a great weekend. I got to speak at the American Renaissance Conference in Burns, Tennessee, just outside, I mean, not just outside, about 40 minutes or so outside of Nashville. Nashville, of course, Tennessee, Nashville. And I decided to fly. You know, it's a 6 hour drive. 6 hours, 5 hours, and you're like, okay, I'll do that. Six is right at that point where you start thinking, like, that's a fucking long drive there and back. It's however long your weekend is, 12 hours of it is on the road with more incompetent, savage assholes that you have to deal with on the highways and byways of our great land. So we decided to fly. Now, of course, I am a Delta Airlines guy. That's my ride. And I know people, no, American's better, United, this. We all have our favorites, or the lesser of all evils, maybe. But Delta has been the one I've stuck with. Their on time is pretty good. I've never missed a flight on Delta. And I get first class, so I get my drinks. I get pretty good service for what airline travel is in 2024. I get pretty good service relative to that. Relative to, 1975, it's the shittiest fucking service in the air, because there were sexy stews with a carving station and a guy with the Chef Boyardee hat cutting roast beef for you in coach. So, yeah, nowadays, you take it for what it's worth, but Delta's my ride. So I check, Greenville Airport to Nashville, and they have a couple of flights, but stops. I'm a nonstop guy. That's another thing about me. I don't like the stop and then get on another plane and get going again. It's just an inconvenience. And it's another opportunity to miss a flight, And I do want to preface this whole story by saying, in all of my years of flying, I have never missed a flight. I've had a flight canceled, shit like that. Of course that happens. But I have never missed a flight by being late or anything like that. Until yesterday. So I'm looking at Delta. I don't want to do this. So I look for direct flights. Now, mind you, this is just a little over maybe an hour and 10-minute flight. It's not a long hop from Greenville to Nashville. So I'm looking and it's like, all right, I know I don't want to take Spirit. Spirit just filed for bankruptcy. We'll talk about that a little later, but I did not want to fly Spirit. Frontier, no, I don't want to fly Frontier. These are usually those airlines where there's fights and shenanigans and it's not like the airline I chose was any better, but I just didn't want those two. I didn't even want the one I picked, but Southwest won. Southwest won my contract, and so I book a flight there and back on Southwest Airlines. And, again, it's just uncivilized. Airlines like this shouldn't even exist. You don't get a seat. Here's the thing. You don't get a seat. Whenever I book a flight on Delta or United or American, if I have to fly those, choose seat. I will take C, 2, and 3. There we go. Third row, first class. I get the window. Thank you. That's how I've been booking flights for myself for many, many years. This is some free-for-all grab bag seat selection. Now, they do have an option, which of course I chose for an extra what the fuck ever, where you are in the seating the seating, what do they call those little classification? A 0 through 1 through 9. I'm like, that sounds good. I'm on like relatively first because I want to be up front. I don't want to be at the back of the plane. And you get a free drink during your flight. It's right there on your ticket coupon. Like, what the fuck kind of savagery is this? It's air travel. It's 2024. I'm ripping a ticket off like I'm at Disney. That's what they had. Your complimentary drink. Well, when I book flights on Delta and I get first class and I'm in row A, B, C, D, whatever, before the plane even backs out of the terminal, that sexy stew, not so much anymore, is bringing me a beverage to enjoy while we watch the rest of the cattle go to steerage in the back of the plane. Well, on this plane, you got to stand by a column with a number on it. Ding, 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 ding. That's what you feel like. You are just cattle. And so I'm just, I'm taking it in. I understand. I have opted for a lesser airline to get me there in an hour and 10 minutes. It's all I care about. I'm not looking for any luxury. Although I was excited for my free beverage. So we get on the plane finally. We're like row, I don't know which row back we were, D, E, something like that. And we take off. Pretty uneventful takeoff. The stewardess, flight attendant, and I looked the pilot. He was a Sully Sullenberger kind of guy, gray hair, white guy, younger but white co-pilots. I'm like, okay, at least they're not completely fucked up here. And the flight attendant says that we on the way here we experience some rough air, some turbulence. So the pilot has instructed us to stay seated during the duration of the flight. So there will be no food or beverage service during the duration of the flight. Excuse me? I have my little coupon ready. I'm sitting in my shitty seat with my little coupon waiting to get my free beverage. Well, we get up to cruising altitude and nary a flight attendant to be seen. They are strapped in like a NASCAR driver. It could possibly have been one of the smoothest flights I've ever been on in my life. Not a bump to be felt. Completely smooth flight the entire duration. I think they were lying so they didn't have to serve anything because they probably didn't have any food or beverages on the plane because it's Southwest and the service is shit. And the savages that work for them could have possibly forgotten to get in touch with the catering company in the truck to load food and beverages on the plane. That's all I can imagine, because I've seen some pretty moderate turbulence and seen those flight attendants roll that cart around and hand shit out while, you're bumping around a little bit. Like glass, this flight. Like fucking glass. Nothing. And they didn't see him the whole flight. As we're getting off, Missy, who also had her drink coupon, eagerly awaiting a mimosa, as we were leaving, and she's like, "Have a nice day. Have a nice. Thank you for flying Southwest, Southwest, right?" And Missy could just had to. She's like, "Wow, that was a really smooth ride." She goes, "Yeah, you just can't tell." Yes, you can. There are instruments in the cockpit where the pilots can absolutely tell if there's going to be some rough air. They usually tell you when you're in the air. It's like, boom, boom, the little fasten seatbelt. They go, "We're expecting a little rough air. Please stay in your seat." And then, boom, 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 you get a little rough air. And then it levels out, and, they go back to business. So that's why I absolutely think this was a scam covering up for some incompetence or a cost-saving measure, because I don't get a refund for my little fucking coupon. Yeah, thank you for flying Southwest. Yeah, she goes, "You can't tell." Yeah, the instruments, they let you tell. Other planes, other planes that are flying a similar route at a similar altitude, they will let the other pilots who are following know how the trip was, whether there's rough air. They don't call it turbulence anymore because that scares people. When there's a horror movie based on a plane called Turbulence, I think they said, I guess we got to figure out another term for this. So they call it rough air. Meanwhile, there was nothing. Turbulence, rough air, little shake, nothing. And we make it. We make it to Nashville. And pretty uneventful from then. Then the baggage was there. And we stayed over Sunday until Monday morning. And we're planning on flying Monday morning and getting back here. And I would have done my show Monday afternoon, yesterday. Well, the incompetence on multiple fronts when you're dealing with an airline like Southwest and minorities that run things like the valet parking at Greenville-Spartanburg Airport, another bastion of incompetence. So we go to the airport very early. That's what I do. I'm not stupid. Did I mention I have never missed a flight in my life? Never missed a flight. We get to the airport. The Nashville airport's pretty cool. There's a bar that has live music. There's this girl, and she's singing, some country stuff and pop songs. And it was nice. We had plenty of time. We were right by the gate. Right by the gate. C1. That was our gate. C1. And so we're having some drinks. I'm looking at the time. I know what time boarding is. And I see we're about 10 minutes away from boarding. We get to the gate. We're sitting. C1. It's Southwest. There's no TV. It's 2024. Every single gate at every single airport I've ever been to has a television that has the schedule and boarding time, flight time, if it's delayed, where you're going, all that info when you sit at the gate was mysteriously absent. And I'm looking for it. And here, mind you, I'm not an idiot here. I was constantly checking my emails and the website with my confirmation number and everything to make sure that the flight was indeed on time and hadn't changed gates or anything like that. And I didn't get any of those indicators. I've had that happen before. I've flown Delta, like I said, and you've been at a gate, and all of a sudden the big TV says the gate is this now. And you'll get an announcement at the gate, and you'll get a text to your phone. There has been a gate change. all the normal things you would expect on an airline that is run like civilized people are running it. So we're sitting there, and now it's after boarding time, and there's no one at the there's people sitting, but there's no one there at the little fucking booth thing, whatever you want to call it, right by the gate, by the door. And I start thinking, like, what? Something's not right here. Something's not right. So I go to the phone again, and I'm checking emails and looking, and there's one email, and it says the gate is now changed. D5. It's not even in the C terminal anymore. It's a completely different terminal. Now we're running through the airport. That was the first indication I got, and it's already past the start of the boarding time. And it takes about 10 minutes to get to a D5 at least. We get there, and lo and behold, there's one black woman standing behind the desk, and the door is shut. Now, I'm not a savage. I've watched many savage videos. And if I would have taken that tack, I would have started yelling at the woman behind the counter. I'd have thrown things. I would have started pulling on the doorknob, trying to open it, saying, I pay for my flight. I pay for this. Open the door. I pay for this flight. I know that doesn't work. All that gets you is arrested. I wasn't happy. And I did inquire to this woman behind the desk. Yeah, there you go. So there's C and then D. So I had to go all the way back around from C up to D. Yeah. So it's like, it wasn't just, it's changed gate two more fucking gates up. C3 instead of C1. No, it was D5. So it was a bit of a truck. So the woman, I say, there were no screens. There was no information that this gate had been changed. Aside from an email I got after boarding had already started. And she goes, we made an announcement. Oh, you did. You did. Do you happen to know Nashville has an airport with bars in it that have live music? I didn't hear an announcement being made. And how about if you did make an announcement, make one before boarding at the gate that was previously my gate. How about that? Or get TVs that put it. Or get somebody to go to that gate and say, ladies and gentlemen, boarding will start in 5 minutes at gate D5. And you go, oh, D5. Let me merrily walk down there because we have plenty of time. No, nothing. We made an announcement. If you've been at an airport, I don't know. I don't know one person that's ever heard an announcement at their airport, except for when you're sitting at the gate and they get on the gate PA and say, we'll begin boarding now. No one hears any other announcement. And like I said, there's bars and live music in Nashville. And every other airline I've ever taken has sent me a text or at least an email because you're constantly checking. You know, shit changes. I get that. But not one fucking indicator that gate had changed until after boarding had started. And in all of my years of flying, I had never missed a flight because of a gate change or anything else until yesterday. Southwest. So, look, we're white people. We improvise, adapt, and overcome. I need another flight. That's what we're at. I need another flight. Excuse me. Can I get another flight? Uh-huh. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I get another flight tomorrow. No, this will not work. Thank you. fucking motherfucker, fucking shit. Oh, yeah, yeah. Under my breath. I'm not yelling it. So I go, look, even if we have to stop at Atlanta and then fly back to Greenville, let's go to Delta and try to get a flight from Nashville to Atlanta to Greenville. And of course, what's behind the counter there? I cannot find a white person. I can't find a white person to go to and try to get my problem solved. Another black woman. And it's, there's been a multitude of comedy, of comedians that have done the what the fuck are they typing at the ticket counter bit. It's the hackiest, oldest airline bit, yet it's true. It's an absolute truth. Again, let me see your ID. Okay, here it is. Forever. The network's slow today. It's slow every day. It's slow every day. You're slow. The network's slow because someone like you is running the network. So it's taking forever and ever and ever. And prior to this, I'd actually tried to book on my Delta app. And there were 2 seats on a plane. One was first class, one was coach. Like Elaine Bennis in Seinfeld, Missy was completely prepared to sit in the coach seat. But for some reason, every time I tried to book it, it would not book. It showed it as an open seat. It would not book it. It turns out that there was only 1 seat left. And I learned that from the fucking savage at the ticket counter, where she goes, after a long time typing and everything, she goes, there's only 1 seat. And I'm like, God. I go, Missy, if you want to take it and get home, that's fine. I'll figure something out. And she's like, no, we'll figure this out. I go to another airline, nothing. There's no other airlines with a flight out that night. That was it. So we go to Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Yes. Enterprise rental car. And we rent a vehicle for the 6-hour drive from Nashville to Greenville. Yeah. By the way, my bag is on that Southwest plane. It's already winging its way off to Greenville, South Carolina with my gun in it. But it's okay. 6 hours we drove. At least we got the exact vehicle we owned. So it was kind of comfortable in that way. It was like you're constantly reminded you're in a fucking rental car. So that was kind of good. And we just watched Sopranos episodes the whole drive. So 6 episodes. 6 hours seems pretty long. 6 episodes of Sopranos, it's a binge. I could do it. So we did that. Stopped once to eat, didn't matter. And then we get, to Greenville Airport. Missy had gotten a text on her phone during the Southwest debacle in Nashville. She gets a text saying, hey, got some bad news for you. We lost the keys to your vehicle here at the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport valet. It's like, how do you lose the keys? You hang them up, and then they stay there until the person comes to get the vehicle, and then you take them out and get the car. How do you lose keys? Is the vehicle still there? Yes, the vehicle is still here. It is locked. But we cannot find your keys. All right. Well, you're paying for a key fob. They're like $1,000 now, those things. Little key fob. Like $1,000 if you lose the fucking things. Thank God we have an extra set of keys, though. Thank God we have an extra set of keys. Where are the keys? The extra set. They're in my bag. They're in my bag. But that's okay, because my bag is on its way to Greenville-Spartanburg Airport, as are we, in an SUV. 6 hours later, 6 Sopranos episodes later, we pull up to Greenville. I go in. It's now 10 at night. I go in. I go to the baggage thing, and there's a woman working at the Delta baggage office, because there's no baggage carousel going around anymore. It's stopped hours ago. And I go, yeah, Southwest Airlines. I have a bag I need to pick up. Oh, they close. They close? Do you mean they're closed? Or at some point they close? They close. Oh, they're closed. I put my Shiboon translator on again. I have a bag I need. They reopen when the next flight come in tomorrow. I'm beside myself. I'm enraged with anger over the sheer incompetence and lack of service that I am getting in this situation. I go, well, my key is in that bag, and I'll call upstairs. All right. She's going to call upstairs. Yeah, they close. All right. Thank you. Why I thought I would get any type of solution or problem solving out of this fucking woman. It was like the same woman. It was like I was dealing with the same black woman, every black woman I dealt with. There wasn't a hint of difference, not a hint of intellect in any one. Hey, there you go. That's they're great. Lost my fucking key. I was so fucking. So now we have to take the rental car home. Thank God. We thought, like, if there's any issue with my bag, we're going to need this rental car. So don't turn the rental car in until I get the bag with the key. It was like a quest, like a video game quest. And I had my earbuds. I had my earbuds in my checked luggage. So I was able to use my phone to see where my earbuds were. And it turned up at Greenville Airport, right around the area of the airport where the Southwest luggage office was. So I'm like, okay, it's here. The fucking thing is here. But we got to take the rental car home, get another 12 hours on it, and then drive back to the airport today, which we did this morning. And I got my bag, and we had a little meeting with the people that run the valet. More black people, by the way. There was this tall black dude, and he's like, and he's pawing through the locker with all the keys. And I'm like, wouldn't you have done that already? Like the second you noticed they were missing, wouldn't you have done an unbelievably extensive search of the cabinet, the locked cabinet, where the keys are? Yeah, I'm just looking again. And I swear to you, I was coming home from an American Renaissance conference where the entire weekend was based on, can we please have a separate white society? So everything in me was just ramped up to 10 for seeing how unbelievably incompetent these people are. So I was just livid. So we have to go see the manager. He's a white guy, finally. And he takes down whatever info and, goes through what happens when this does happen. Apparently they have a system for this, and they get in touch with the dealership and have another key, and they pay for it. They will pay for the cost of the key. And I'm like, they should pay for the cost of the fucking rental car. Also, we wouldn't have needed 12 more hours of a fucking rental car. And Southwest should pay for the fucking rental car in the first place, but they would say it was my fault because, I'm sure there's something written down that says if you miss boarding in the flight, that's your fucking problem, regardless of how inept they were in informing people that there had been a gate change. So, we went back this morning. I took my key, and I had to. When I handed it over to the valet guy, I had to say, try not to lose this one. Oh, yeah, I get you. Yeah, do you? Do you get me? I don't think you get me. It was infuriating. So I'm all cranky that I had to get up at the ungodly hour of 9 a.m. Thank God the airport's like a half hour away. Some people live 2 hours from an international airport that they use when they go on trips. If I had to drive 2 hours to get back to an airport, that would not have washed. But so here we are, and shortly before showtime, Missy came down and goes, well, I just got a call. They found our keys. I'd love to know where, under what circumstance, and whose dumb fuck fault it was that they didn't have them. And then all of a sudden, when we get home and we've told them that we are not happy and it's going to cost them $1,000 to have another key fob made up, and that all of a sudden then they found the key after unbelievable inconvenience. We really need to do something. Some people that are somehow in our society should not be performing tasks that people depend on. They just shouldn't be doing them. And they seem to be the only people that are in those positions. Go to a ticket counter. That's all you're going to see. Line of black people. And I even used, like, I even was, I didn't want to look racist at one point. It was stupid. The ticket counter, I needed to get to somebody at a ticket counter, and there was a black woman and a white woman, and I would have had to pass by the black woman that was not doing anything and gone to the white woman to get service, which is absolutely what I should have done. And if I was a complete racist, I should have done that. But I stopped at the black woman and went like, okay, we'll do it this way. That was when I was leaving, so it didn't really, she didn't really fuck anything up. She just had to put a sticker on my gun case and throw my bag, like that American Tourister ad back from the 70s. The ape throwing the bag. So that was, my weekend. Great time, like I said, unbelievable, great conference, but it just had to be wrapped up in a bow of shit because of people's unbelievable incompetence. Anyway, I'm here.